Hi, I'm Miranda-Naxi. I'm a youth employee here at Rooted, and for this week's cooking workshop, we're going to be making homemade ramen. Since this is homemade, we're making the noodles here with the ingredients we have. We're using 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 eggs. We will also be mixing 1/2 cup of warm water. So I already mixed all the dry ingredients here, or I already put them in here in this bowl. And the wet ingredients, we're gonna mix the eggs, the 2 eggs, and the 1/2 cup of water into this bowl, and we'll mix them together before adding it to the big bowl. When your eggs are mixed, they should look a little like this, a little cloudy, more cloudy than normal eggs. After you have your dry ingredients mixed and your egg and water mixed, you can mix both together in the dry ingredients bowl. Um, to mix them together, I would recommend just using your hands because with a whisk, it's going to get stuck everywhere. And so I'm wearing gloves and I'm just going to mix it with my hands. Sometimes the dough is going to be a bit dry. So in that case, like this, where it's a little more crumbly, we're going to add more water to the mix. Just and not enough to make it soggy, but enough to make it combine and mix with the other ingredients. After some time, your batter should look a little like this. Um, and from this point, you could start rolling out with a. You could start rolling it out. Yeah. So take a little chunk off. I'm gonna roll it enough for it to fit inside the um, pasta noodle roller that we have here at Bajarak, but I know not everyone has one of those, and in that case, you can just roll it as thin as you can and then cut tiny slices with a knife. So now that we have it a little flattened, we're gonna go over to the machine and roll it there. So this is the noodle roller that we've been using here. It's a little old, so we had to clean it a lot. It was a bit of a struggle, but it works great. And so yeah, this is what we're gonna use. So I'm just gonna grab the dough that we spread out with the roller, and I'm just gonna put it in through this side and turn this so that it will be flattened if it works. So this has like it has 7 different settings to make it flatter and flatter each time. And we're gonna do the flattest setting because this is ramen and ramen typically uses thin, small noodles. But yeah. Hello, this is Diego. Just talking more about this process after we recorded this workshop. Um, so the machine, I feel like I didn't really describe it that well, but it really just flattens the noodles more and more every time it goes through the machine. Um, like I mentioned, it has like 7 different like thinnesses, and each one can be used for its own type of noodles. But again, we're going for the thinnest ones. So that's why I'm going through all of them so that it doesn't get jammed. You can see how at some point it gets stretched really, really long. And that's when I go to get a knife so I can cut it in half to put it back in through the machine. Wait, no. This isn't the smallest it goes yet. It can go smaller, I think. Yeah. Okay, so now that it's as thin as we can get it with this machine. We're gonna put it in through this top area right here. There's two different settings. There's this one for tiny noodles and this one for ones that are more thicker. Um, this one here, the thicker ones can be used for like chicken noodle soup or some sort of spaghetti, but we'll use the top one because um, ramen is made with smaller, thinner noodles. Um, And I really like this machine because it's really easy to use. And oops, I didn't do it full enough, but there are the noodles. And here's some older noodles that we made earlier today as a practice test. But these turn out really good, and this machine really helps out make this process a lot more faster. Yeah. What'd you ask?
What kind of ramen have you had?
Um, I, I've I've never had like ramen, like professionally made ramen, but so I usually just eat like the instant ramen and stuff, um, or homemade like this. But like twice I've been to a hot pot place. One time in Chicago in Chinatown, and that was really good. That was like pretty great.
Is that with family?
Yeah, I went with my sisters, and we just like it was like all you can eat for an hour, and we didn't talk at all. We were just all eating silently, like an hour and a half, just eating silently. And I'm like, wow, we were really hungry. It's because earlier that day we went to the aquarium that's over there too,
Yeah.
and that's a little. How those turn out. And the aquarium's fun. So
What was your favorite part?
the aquarium.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you remember?
yeah, this was like 2 months ago.
Oh.
Yeah, did I say it
cool.
like it was a long time ago?
Yeah, no.
No, that was like 2 months ago. They came home for winter break because they're in college. So, but yeah, um, I don't know. I like the penguins. They're cool.
The penguins?
It's like Happy Feet.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Did they do a show?
There was like a dolphin show, but the dolphins looked. No, the dolphins were actually pretty good. They were pretty good. I think it was the whales that looked sad. Kind of makes me a bit sad, but I think I don't know. So now that these are done, we can add them to the broth. Okay, so here's the pot where we're gonna put the noodles in. Um, so while I was doing the noodle dough, one of our volunteers helped us set this up at the same time. And here we put 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, 3 teaspoons of grated ginger, and 3 teaspoons of grated garlic, and let it simmer for about 2-3-ish minutes. And then we added the water, which is 4 cups of water and 4 cups of chicken broth, but you could also use vegetable broth, or in our case, we used 4 cubes of bouillon. Um, and with each cube of bouillon, you need 1 more cup of water. And after that was mixed, we let that sit for about maybe a couple minutes, just a little while. And then after that, we added 1 ounce of mushrooms. We had these sliced and threw them in there for a bit. And now we just let it sit there for about 10 minutes. So now that this is sat for about 10 minutes, and you can add more time also until the mushrooms are more cooked and look soft. Um, After that, you could add the noodles that we made. Um, I'm just gonna say this is like a large portion, so this is a recipe that's definitely gonna feed like the whole family, maybe even like twice. This is like a lot of noodles here. Um, but we're just gonna let that sit. We're gonna mix it and let it sit for another 5 minutes. Um, so we'll update you how that looks like then. Now that the noodles have been in here for about 5 minutes with the broth and everything, we're gonna add the scallions. We right now we have about a half cup of scallions, and we're just gonna pour them in here and mix it. I forgot to add that the heat should be at around maybe like a medium to high setting. And once the scallions are mixed, once the scallions are mixed in with the rest of the ingredients, you could turn the heat off. So this is what your pot should look like after the scallions are mixed in, and um, and once the power's off, once the heat's off, you can add your 2 cups of kale and 1 cup of carrots. And you can just mix these in with the rest of the ingredients. So yeah, that looks pretty well mixed. Yeah. And I think that's just about it. You kind of just mix everything in. And once that's done, you can also add either red pepper flakes, hot sauce. This is the hot sauce that we make here at Badger Rock. If you want to buy some, come to the community dinners. Or a soy sauce for, I don't know, maybe like a saltier taste, something. Um, but yeah, that's kind of it. It's just a lot of vegetables. I feel like easier to find vegetables and noodles with simple ingredients. And it turns out like this. It's very good. I like it a lot. I like this recipe. This is one of our better ones. But yeah, thank you for watching. And yeah, thank you. That's it.